Sun Tzu, War. One initial estimation. Warfare is the greatest affair of the state. The basis of life and death. It's how to survive or extinction. It must be thoroughly pondered and analyzed. Therefore, structured warfare, according to the following 5 factors, evaluate it, compare to estimations, and seek out its true nature. The first is termed the tap, the second, evidence, the third, and the fourth, family. The fifth, belongs to the military organization and discipline. The tap causes the people to be holding before the group. Thus they will die with them. They will live with them and not fear danger. Heading from the city of Marianne, cold and peace, and the four strains of the seasons. Political practices hard or rare, difficult or easy, expensive or tiring, fitful for attainable, to many. The general and constant wisdom, credibility, benevolence, courage, and strictness. The laws for military organization encompass organization and regulations. The talent of man and the rifles for life states. There are no generals who have not heard of these 5. Those who understand them will be victorious. Those who do not understand them will not be victorious. Thus, when making a different translation, ask, who further has power? Which general has greater ability? Who has gained the decades of heading the earth? Whose laws and orders are more firmly independent? Whose forces are stronger? Whose officers and troops are better trained? Whose reports and punishments are clearer? Currently examine the victories and kingdoms. The general benefits are contained. Can you employ him who certainly be victorious when he should be pained? But the general is not full of benefits of this invasion. Therefore, many people should be dismiss him. After estimating the advantages in the forward before being occurred, take into effect what the power supplements about field tactics, and response that field factors, measure strategic power, which control the tactical and balance of power, and the force of gains to be realized. Warfare is how exceptional thus, although more capable of collecting ability, concluded that following forces things and activity from their objectives to nearby make it appear distant, bullshit and create the illusion of being nearby, display profits, to entice them, break the program their forces and take them, but there's a chance of a paper they'll take their strong avoid them, and their angry preserve them, keep the commercial structure of aliens, that they are against force them, present themselves. They are united, thousands to be federated, attack where they are unprepared, therefore, where they were not expected. These other ways, military duties are victorious, they cannot be broken up in advance. Before the engagement, the work determines in the accessible temple, and you will be victorious, as found with the majority of factors upon his favor. Before the engagement, one of the determines in the accessible temple, you will not be victorious, as found two factors are in his favor. One defines that the majority of factors favor him will be victorious, while one has found two factors favor him will be defeated. One outcome of defining the factors in his favor, and certainly from his perspective, victory will be prepared. Two, waging war. When employing the military in battle, a victory that is long in coming will blunt their weapons and dampen their ardor. If you attack cities, their strength will be exhausted. If you expose the army to a prolonged campaign, the state's resources will be inadequate. When our weapons have grown dull and seriously pressed, when our strength has been expended and resources consumed, then the feudal lords will take advantage of our exhaustion to arise. Even though we have wise generals, they will not be able to achieve a good result. Thus, in military campaigns, I have heard of often speed that have never seen any skill in lengthy campaigns. No country has ever profited from protracted warfare. Those who do not thoroughly comprehend the dangers inherent in employing the army are incapable of truly knowing the potential advantages of military actions. The one who excels in employing the military does not constrict the people twice or transport provisions a third time. If you obtain your equipment from in the state and rely on seasoned provisions from the enemy, and the army's foodstuffs will be sufficient. The state is impoverished by the army when it transports provisions far off. When provisions are transported far off, the 100 servings are impoverished. Those in proximity to the army will sell their goods expensively. When goods are expensive, the 100 servings will be exhausted. When their wealth is exhausted, they will be extremely hard pressed to supply their villages' military positions. But when these men display and meet his anger, the army values being victorious. It is not valued for long warfare. Therefore, a general who understands warfare is master of faith. For the people, rulers of the state, the security or endangerment. 3. Planning offenses. In general, the method for employing the military is this. Preserving the enemy's state capital is best. Destroying their state capital is second best. Preserving their army is best. Destroying their army is second best. Preserving their battalions is best. Destroying their battalions is second best. Preserving their companies is best. Destroying their companies is second best. Preserving their squads is best. Destroying their squads is second best. For this reason, attaining 100 victories in 100 battles is not the pinnacle of excellence. Subjugating the enemy's army without fighting is the true pinnacle of excellence. Thus, the highest realization of warfare is to attack the enemy's lines, next to attack their alliances, next to attack their army, and the lowest is to attack their fortified cities. This tactic of attacking fortified cities is not only unavoidable, thus one who excels at employing the military subsidies of other people's armies without engaging in battle, enters other people's fortified cities without attacking them, and destroys other people's states without prolonged fighting. He must fight under heaven with the paramount aim of preservation. Thus his weapons will not become dull, and the gains can be preserved. This is a strategy for finding offenses. In general, the strategy for employing the military is this. If your strength is 10 times theirs, surround them. At 5, then attack them. At double, then divide your forces. If you are equal in strength to the enemy, you can engage him. If fewer, you can circumvent him. If outmatched, you can avoid him. Thus, a small enemy that acts in flexibility will become the captives of a large enemy. The general is the supporting pillar of state. If this talents are all-encompassing, the state will invariably be strong. If the supporting pillar is marked by fissures, the state will invariably grow weak. There are 3 ways by which an army is put into difficulty by a ruler. He does not know that the 3 armies should not advance or instructs them to advance, or does not know that the 3 armies should not withdraw in orders to retreat. This is termed entangling the army. He does not understand the 3 armies' military affairs and directs them in the same way as his civil administration. Then the officers will become confused. He does not understand 3 armies' tactical balance, how better takes responsibility for planning. Then the officers will be doubtful. When 3 armies are already confused and doubtful, the danger of full is taking advantage of the situation arises. This is referred to as a disordered army, drawing another arm to victory. There are 5 factors for which victory can be known. One who knows when he can fight and when he cannot fight will be victorious. One who recognizes how to employ large and small numbers will be victorious. One whose upper and lower ranks have the same desires will be victorious. One who fully prepared and waits unprepared will be victorious. One whose general is capable and not interfered with the ruler will be victorious. These 5 are the Tao to know victory. Thus it is said that one who knows the enemy and knows himself will not be in danger, not under engagements. One who does not know the enemy and knows himself will sometimes be victorious, sometimes meet with defeat. One who knows neither the enemy or himself will invariably be defeated in that engagement. Four, the art of war. Military disposition. In antiquity, those that excelled in warfare first made themselves unconquerable in order to await the moment when the enemy could be conquered. Being unconquerable lies with yourself. Being conquerable lies with the enemy. Thus, who excels in warfare is able to make himself unconquerable, but cannot necessarily cause the enemy to be conquerable. Thus, a strategy for conquering the enemy can be known, but yet not possible to implement. One who cannot be victorious assumes a defensive posture. One who can be victorious attacks. In these circumstances, by assuming a defensive posture, strength will be more than adequate, whereas in offensive actions, it would be inadequate. Those who excel at defense bury themselves away below the lowest depths of the earth. Those who excel at defense fall from above the greatest heights of heaven. Thus, they are able to preserve themselves and attain complete victory. Receiving a victory that does not surpass what the masses can know is not pinnacle of excellence. Wrestling victories for which all under heaven proclaim your excellence is not the pinnacle of excellence. Those that the ancients referred to as excelling at warfare conquered those who were easy to conquer. Their victories were not marked by fame for wisdom or courageous achievement, but were free from errors. One who is free from errors directs his measures towards certain victory, conquering those who are already defeated. Thus, one who excels at warfare first establishes himself in a position where he cannot be defeated, by not losing any opportunity to defeat the enemy. For this reason, the victorious army first realizes the conditions for victory and then seeks to engage in battle. The vanquished army fights first and then seeks victory. One who excels at employing the military cultivates the Tao and preserves the laws. Therefore, he is able to be the regulator of victory and defeat. As for military methods, the first is termed measurement, the second estimation of forces, the third calculation of numbers of men, the fourth weighing relative strength, and fifth victory. Terrain gives birth to measurement. Measurement produces estimation of forces. Estimation of forces gives rise to calculating the numbers of men. Calculating the numbers of men gives rise to weighing strength. Weighing strength gives birth to victory. Thus, the victorious army is like a ton compared to an ounce, while the defeated army is like an ounce weighed against a ton. The combat of the victorious is like the sudden release of pins at points down 1,000 fathom gorge. This is the strategic disposition of force. Five, the art of war, strategic military power. In general, commanding a large number is like commanding a few. It is a question of dividing up numbers. Fighting with a large number is like fighting with a few. It is a question of configuration and designation. That the army's attack is like a whetstone thrown against an egg. It is due to the vacuous and substantial. What enabled the masses of 3 armies invariably to ascend enemy without being defeated are the unorthodox and orthodox. In general, in battle, one engages with the orthodox and gains the victory through the unorthodox. Thus, one who excels at sending forth the unorthodox is as inexhaustible as heaven, as unlimited as the Yangtze and yellow rivers. In warfare, the strategic configurations of power do not exceed unorthodox and orthodox. But the change of the unorthodox and orthodox can never be completely exhausted. The unorthodox and the orthodox mutually produce each other just like an endless cycle. Who can exhaust them? The strategic configuration of power is visible in the onrush of pent-up water tumbling stones along. The effect of constraint is visible in the onrush of a bird of prey breaking the bones of its target. Thus, the strategic configuration of power of those that excel in warfare is sharply focused. Their constraints are precise. Their strategic configuration of power is like a fully drawn crossbow. Their constraints are the release of the trigger birth from control. The illusion of fear is given birth from courage. Feigned weakness is given birth from strength. Order and disorder are a question of numbers. Courage and fear are a question of the strategic configuration of power. Strength and weakness are a question of the deployment of forces. Thus, one who excels at moving the enemy employs a configuration for which the enemy must respond. He offers something that the enemy must seize. With profit, he moves them. With the foundation, he awaits them. Thus, one who excels at warfare seeks victory through the strategic configuration of power, not from reliance on men. Thus, he is able to select men and employ strategic power. One who employs strategic power commands men in battle as if they were rolling logs and stones. The nature of wood and stone is to be quiet when stable and to move when on precipitous ground. If they are square, they stop. If round, they tend to move. Thus, the strategic power of one who excels in employing men in warfare is comparable to rolling around boulders down a 1,000-fathom mountain. Six, faculty and substance. In general, whoever occupies the battleground first and awaits the enemy will be at ease. Whoever occupies the battleground afterward and must race to the conflict will be fatigued. Thus, one who excels at warfare compels men and is not compelled by other men. In order to cause the enemy to come of their own volition, extend some apparent profit. In order to prevent the enemy from coming forth, show them potential harm. Thus, if the enemy is rested, you can tire him. If he is well fed, you can make him hungry. If he is at rest, you can move him. Go forth to positions to which he must race. Race forth where he does not expect it. To travel 1,000 kilometers without becoming fatigued, traverse unoccupied terrain. To ensure taking the objective in an attack, strike positions that are undefended. To be certain of an impregnable defense, secure positions that the enemy will not attack. Thus, when someone excels in attacking, the enemy does not know where to mount his defense. When someone excels in defense, the enemy does not know where to attack. So subtle its approach, the formless. So spiritual, it attains the soundless. Thus he can act as the enemy's master of fate. To effect an unhampered advance, strike their activities. To effect a retreat that cannot be overtaken, employ unmatchable speed. Thus, if I want to engage in combat, even though the enemy has high ramparts and deep moats, they cannot avoid doing battle. If I attack objectives, that must rescue. If I do not want to engage in combat, even though I merely draw a line on the ground and defend it, they will not be able to engage me in battle because we thwart their movements. Thus, if I determine the enemy's disposition of force, while I have no precise physical form, I can concentrate my focus while the enemy is fragmented. If we are concentrated into a single force while they are fragmented into 10, then we attack them with 10 times their strength. Thus we are many, and the enemy is few. If we can attack their few, but are many, those whom we engage in battle will be severely constrained. The location where we will engage the enemy must not become known to them. If it is not known, then the positions that they must appear to defend will be numerous. If the positions the enemy prepares to defend are numerous, then the forces we will engage will be few. If no positions are left undefended, there will not be any places with more than a few. The few are the ones who prepare against others, the many are the ones who make others prepare against them. If you know the field and day of battle, you can traverse 1,000 kilometers and assemble to engage in combat. If you do not know the field, nor the day for battle, then the left flank cannot aid the right, nor the right flank aid the left. The front cannot aid the rear, nor the rear aid the front. How much more so when the distance are some 10 kilometers away, and the near several kilometers apart? Thus I said victory can be achieved, even though the enemy is more numerous, they can be forced not to fight. Critically analyze them to know their motivations for gain and loss. Stimulate them to know the patterns of their movements and stopping. Determine their disposition of force to know the tenable and fatal terrain. Probe them to know where they have an excess and insufficiency. Thus a fatal military deployment approaches the formless. It is the formless, and even the deepest eye cannot discern it, or the wise may find against it. According to the enemy's disposition, reimposes measures on the masses and produce a victory. But the masses are unable to back him down. Men all know the disposition by which we attain victory, but no one knows the configuration through which we control the victory. Thus, a victorious battle strategy is not repeated. The configurations of the response to the enemy are inexhaustible. Now the army's disposition of force is like water. Water's configuration avoids heights and bases downward. The army's disposition of force avoids the substantial and strikes the backwardness. Water configures its flow in accord with the terrain. The army controls its victory in accord with the enemy. Thus, the army does not maintain any constant strategic configuration of power. Water has no constant shape. One who is able to change and transform in accord with the enemy and rest victory is termed spiritual. Seventh, military combat. From the time the general receives his commands from the ruler, unites the armies and assembles the masses to confront the enemy and encamping. There is nothing more difficult than military combat. In military combat, what is most difficult is turning the circuitous into the straight, turning adversity into advantage. Thus, if you make the enemy's path circuitous and entice them with profit, Although we set out after them, you will arrive before them. This results from the knowing the tactics of the circuitous and the direct. Thus, combat between armies is advantageous. Combat between masses is dangerous. If the entire army contends for advantage, you will not arrive in time. If you reduce the army size to contend for advantage, both baggage and heavy equipment will suffer losses. For this reason, you abandon your armor to race forward day and night without encamping to contend for gain. The three armies' generals will be captured. The strong will be first to arrive, while the exhausted will follow. With such tactics, only 1 in 10 will reach the battle site. If the army does not have baggage, heavy equipment, it will be lost. If it does not have provisions, it will be lost. If it does not have swords, it will be lost. Thus, one who does not know the plans of the feudal lords cannot prepare alliances beforehand. Someone unfamiliar with the mountains and forest gorges and the piles, the shape of marshes and wetlands cannot advance the army. One who does not employ local guides cannot gain advantages of terrain. Thus, the army is established by seat, moves for advantage, and changes through segmenting the reenacting. Thus, its speed is like the wind, its slowness like a forest, its invasion and plundering like fire. Unmoving, it is like the mountains. It is difficult to know the darkness, and movement, it is like thunder. Take control of the strategic balance of power and move. The one who first understands the tactics of the circuitous and direct will be victorious. When the men have been unified, the courageous will not be able to advance alone. The fearful will not be able to retreat alone. This is the method for employing large numbers. The chi spirit of the three armies can be snatched away. The commanding general's mind can be seized. For this reason, in the morning, their chi is ardent. During the day, their chi becomes indolent. At dusk, their chi is exhausted. Thus, one who excels at employing the army avoids their ardent chi and strikes when it is indolent or exhausted. This is the way to manipulate chi. In order to await disorder, in tranquility await a climax. This is the way to control the mind. With the near awaits the distant, with the rested awaits the fatigue, with the sated awaits the hungry. This is the way to control strength. Do not intercept well-ordered flags. Do not attack well-regulated formations. This is the way to control changes. Do not approach high mountains. Do not confront those who have hills behind them. Do not pursue playing retreats. Do not attack animated troops. Do not swallow an army acting as bait. Do not obstruct an army retreating homeward. If you besiege an army, you must lead an outlet. Do not press an exhausted invader. These are the strategies for employing the military. It is called 9 changes. In general, the strategy for employing the military is this. After the general has received his commands from the ruler, unite the armies and assemble the masses. Do not encamp on entramping terrain. Unite with your allies on focal terrain. Do not remain on isolated terrain. Make strategic plans for encircled terrain. On fatal terrain, you must do battle. There are roads that are not followed. There are armies that are not attacked. There are fortified cities that are not assaulted. There is terrain for which one does not contend. There are commands from the ruler that are not accepted. One who truly understands the changes in affairs knows only to employ the military. Thus, the general who has penetrating understanding of the advantages of the 9 changes knows how to employ the army. If the general does not have a penetrating understanding of the advantages of the 9 changes, even though he is familiar with the topography, he will not be able to realize the advantages of terrain. One who commands an army but does not know the techniques for the 9 changes, even though he is familiar with the 5 advantages, will not be able to control men. For this reason, the wise must contemplate the intermixture of gain and loss. If they discern advantage in difficult situations, their efforts can be trusted. If they discern harm in prospective advantage, difficulties can be resolved. Accordingly, subjugate the feudal lords with potential harm. Allabor the feudal lords with numerous affairs, and have feudal lords race after profits. Thus, the strategy for employing the army: do not rely on their not coming, but depend on having the means to await them. Do not rely on their not attacking, but depend on having an unassailable position. Thus, the generals have 5 dangerous character traits. One committed to dying can be slain. One committed to living can be captured. One easily angered and hasty to act can be insulted. One obsessed with being scrupulous and untainted can be shamed. One who loves the people can be troubled. Now, these 5 dangerous traits are excesses in a general, potential disaster for employing the army. The army's destruction and the general's death will invariably stem from these 5, so they must be investigated. 9. Maneuvering the army. Now the army likes heights and abhors low areas, esteems the sunny and disdains the shady. It nourishes life and occupies the substantial. An army that avoids the 100 bonuses is set to be certain of victory. You must quickly get away from deadly configurations of terrain. Do not approach them. When we keep them at a distance, the enemy is forced to approach them. When we face them, the enemy is compelled to have them at their rear. If an enemy is close proximity, remains quiet. They are relying on their tactical occupational ravines. That while far off, they challenge you to battle. They want you to advance because they occupy easy terrain, their advantage. One who speaks differentially but increases his preparations will advance. One who speaks belligerently and advances hastily will retreat. One who seeks peace without setting any prior condition is executing a stratagem. When they see potential gain but do not know whether to advance, they are tired. If the enemy cries out at night, they are afraid. If the enemy is turbulent, the general lacks severity. If their flags and pennants move about, they are in chaos. If the officers are angry, they are exhausted. One whose troops repeatedly congregate in small groups here and there, whispering together, have lost the masses. One who frequently grants rewards is in deep distress. One who frequently imposes punishments is in great difficulty. One who is at first excessively brutal and then fears the masses is the pinnacle of stupidity. One who has emissaries come forth with offerings wants to rest for a while. The army does not esteem the number of troops being more numerous, for it only means one cannot. Aggressively advance. It is sufficient for you to muster your own strength. Analyze the enemy, take them. Only someone who lacks strategic planning and selects an enemy will inevitably be captured by others. If you impose punishments on the troops or they become attached, they will not be submissive. If they are not submissive, they will be difficult to employ. If you do not impose punishments after the troops become attached, they cannot be used. Thus if you command them with the civil and unify them through the martial, this is what is referred to as being certain to take them. If orders are consistently implemented to instruct the people, then the people will submit. If orders are not consistently implemented to instruct the people, then the people will not submit. One who orders are consistently carried out has established a mutual relationship with the people. And configurations of terrain. The major configurations of terrain are accessible, suspended, stalemated, constricted, precipitous, and expansive. An accessible configuration first occupy the strengths, and a suspended configuration go forth if they are unprepared. In a stalemated situation, do not be enticing into going forward. As for constricted configurations, we occupy them first, you must wholly deploy throughout, and as for precipitous configurations, you must hold the heights and await the enemy. As for expansive configurations, if our strategic power is equal, it will be difficult to provoke them to combat. Now, these six are the town of terrain. Any general who undertakes responsibility for command cannot plead, let's investigate them. Configuration of terrain is an aid to the army analyzing the enemy, taking control of victory, estimating ravines and defiles. The distant and near is the town of the superior general. One who knows these and employs them in combat will certainly be victorious. One who does not know these or employ them in combat will certainly be defeated. There are 6 types of ill-fated armies: running up, lax, sinking, crumbling, chaotic, and routed. Now, these 6 are not disasters brought about by heaven and earth, but by the general's errors. Now, then, when the strategic power is equal, one attacks 10, it is termed running off. If the troops are strong, but the officers are weak, it is termed lax. If the officers are strong, but the troops weak, it is termed sinking. If the higher officers are angry and using subordinates, engaging the enemy themselves out of unrestrained anger, while the general does not yet know their capability, it is termed crumbling. If the general is weak and not strict, unenlightened in his instructions and leadership, the officers and troops lack constant duties, and their deployment of troops into formation is askew, it is termed chaotic. If the general is unable to fathom, enemy engages a large number with a small number, attacks the strong with the weak, while the army lacks a properly selected vanguard, it is termed routed. Now, these 6 are the Tau of the Beat. Any general who undertakes responsibility for command cannot but investigate them. When the general regards his troops as young children, they will advance into the deepest valleys with them. When he regards the troops as his beloved children, they will be willing to die with them. If they are well treated, they cannot be employed. If they are loved, they cannot be commanded. Or when in chaos, they cannot be governed, they may be compared to arrogant children and cannot be used. If the Tau of warfare indicates certain victory, even though the ruler has instructed the combat should be avoided, if you must engage in battle, it is permissible. If the Tau of warfare indicates you will not be victorious, even though the ruler instructs you to engage in combat, not fighting is permissible. Thus, a general who does not advance to seek fame, nor fail to retreat to avoid being charged for the capital offense of retreating, that seeks only to preserve the people and gain advantage for the ruler is the state's treasure. If I know our troops can attack, but do not know the enemy cannot be attacked, it is only halfway to victory. If I know the enemy can be attacked, but do not realize our troops cannot attack, it is only halfway to victory. Knowing that enemy can be attacked, and knowing that our army can attack, and not knowing the terrain is not suitable for combat, is only halfway to victory. Thus, one who truly knows the army will never be deluded when he moves, never be impoverished when initiating an action. Thus it is said, if you know them and know yourself, your victory will be imperiled. If you know heaven and earth, your victory will be complete. 11 is called 9 terrains. The strategy for employing the military is this. There is discursive terrain, light terrain, contentious terrain, traversable terrain, focal terrain, heavy terrain, entrapping terrain, encircling terrain, and fatal terrain. In antiquity, those who were referred to as excelling in the employment of the army were able to keep the enemies forward and rear forces from connecting, the many and few from relying on each other, the noble and the lowly from pointing to each other's rescue. The upper and lower ranks from trusting each other, the troops to be separated, unable to reassemble, or when assembled, not to be well ordered. They moved when it was advantageous, halted when it was not advantageous. If I dare ask if the enemy is numerous, disciplined, and about to advance, how should we respond to them? I would say, first, see something that they love further than they will listen to you. It is in the nature of the army to stress speed, to take advantage of the enemy's absence, to travel unanticipated roads, and to attack when they are not alert. In general, the tale of an invader is that when one has penetrated deeply into enemy territory, the army will be unified and the defenders will not be able to conquer you. If you are carefully nurtured them and you do not over-labor them, their chi will be united and their strength will be at a maximum. When you mobilize the army and form strategic plans, you must be unfathomable. Where if one fights with intensity, he will survive. But if he does not fight with intensity, he will perish. It is fatal terrain. Cast them in positions from which there is nowhere to go, and they will die without retreating. If there is no escape from death, the officers and soldiers will fully exhaust their strength. When the soldiers and officers have penetrated deeply into enemy territory, they will cling together. When there is no alternative, they will fight. If it is in their nature of the army to defend themselves, to fight vertically, when unavoidable, and follow orders when compelled by circumstances. For this reason, even though the soldiers are not instructed, they are prepared without seeking it. Their cooperation is obtained without covenants. They are close together without issuing orders. They are reliable. Prohibits omens, eliminate doubt, so that they will die without other thoughts. If our soldiers do not live long lives, it is not because they have poor longevity. On the day that the orders are issued, the tears of the soldiers who are sitting will soak their sleeves. While the tears of those lying down will roll down their cheeks. However, if you throw them into a hopeless situation, they don't have the courage of the great assassins. Unify the soldiers, courage through the talent of control, realize appropriate employments of the hard and soft through the patterns of terrain. That's one who excels at employing the army and leads them by hand as if they were only one man, so they cannot avoid it. It is essential for a general to be tranquil, austere, upright, and self-disciplined, and able to see by the eyes and ears of officers and troops, keeping them ignorant. He alters the management of affairs and changes his strategies to keep other people from recognizing them. He shifts his position and traverses endeavor crowds to keep other people from being able to anticipate him. At the moment the general has designated with them, it will be as if they ascended a height and abandoned their ladders. The general advances with them deep into the territory, the field always, and then releases the trigger. He commands them as if raising a herd of sheep. They are driven away, driven back, and no one knows where they are going. Assembling the masses of the three armies, casting them in dangerous responsibility of the general. The 9 transformations of terrain, the advantages deriving from contraction and expansion, the patterns of the human emotions must be investigated. One who does not know the plans of the field orders cannot forge preparatory alliances. One who does not know the topography of mountains and forests, ravines, defiles, wetlands, and marshes cannot maneuver an army. One who does not employ local guides will not secure advantages of terrain. One who does not know one of these 4 cannot command the army, the hegemon, or a true king. Now, when the army of the hegemon or true king attack the great state, their masses are unable to assemble. When it applies its awesomeness to the enemy, their alliances cannot be sustained. For this reason, it does not contend with any alliances under heaven, since it does not nurture the authority of others under heaven. Have faith in yourself upon your awesomeness of the enemy, then their cities can be taken, their states can be subjugated, and the certain rewards not required by law, and impose exceptional governmental orders that make the masses, the three armies, and as through commanding one man, press affairs upon them. Do not explain the purpose of them, compel them, the prospects for profit, but you might inform them about the potential harm, cast them into hopeless situations, and they will be preserved, have them penetrate fatal terrain, and they will live, but only after the masses have penetrated dangerous terrain will they be able to crack victory out from the defeat. The prosecution of those right affairs lies in according with and learning in detail the enemy's intentions. If one hand focuses his strength towards the enemy, strikes 1,000 kilometers away, and kills their general, it is termed being skillful and capable of completing military affairs. For this reason, the J government mobilizes the army close by passes, destroy all its allies, and do not allow emissaries to pass through. Hold intense strategic discussions, and not the whole of the terrible orders to bring about execution of affairs. But then they open the door and the frightened attack, but they all first do not fix any time for battle, passes, and react to enemy and order. Later, then they open the door, be like a fleeing rabbit. Then the enemy will be unable to withstand you.
12. Incendiary attacks. I'm tired. There are 5 types of incendiary attacks. The first is to incinerate men, the second to incinerate provisions, the third to incinerate supply trains, the fourth to incinerate armories, the fifth to incinerate formations. Now, if someone is victorious in battle and succeeds in attack but does not exploit the achievement, it is disastrous. If it is not advantageous, do not move. If objectives cannot be attained, do not employ the army. Unless in danger, do not engage in warfare. The ruler cannot mobilize the army out of personal anger. The general cannot engage in battle because of personal frustration. When it is advantageous, move. When not advantageous, stop. Anger can revert to happiness. Annoyance can revert to joy, but a vanquished state cannot be revived. The dead cannot be brought back to life. Thus, the enlightened ruler is cautious about it. The good general respectful of it. This is the time for bringing security to the state and preserving the army intact. That was
13. Employing spy. When you send forth an army of 100,000 on a campaign, marching them out 1,000 kilometers, the expenditures of the common people and the contributions of fuel house will be 1,000 pieces of gold here and day. Those inconvenienced and troubled both within and without the order, who are exhausted, on the road, or unable to pursue their agricultural work, will be 700,000 families. Armies remain blocked in a standoff for years to fight for victory on a single day. Yet generals begrudge bestowing ranks and emulations of 100 pieces of gold, and therefore do not know the enemy's situation. This is a ultimate inhumanity. Such a person is not a general for the people, an assistant for a ruler, or an arbiter of victory, the means by which enlightened rulers and sagacious generals moved and conquered others, that their achievements surpassed the masses, was advanced knowledge. Advanced knowledge cannot be gained from ghosts and spirits inferred from phenomena or projected from the measures of heaven, but must be gained from men, for it is the knowledge of the enemy's true situation. Thus, there are 5 types of spies to be employed: local spy, internal spy, turned spy, or double agent, dead or expendable spy, and the living spy. When all 5 are employed together and no one knows their how, this is termed spiritual methodology. They are a ruler's treasures. Local spies employ people from the local district. Internal spies employ their people to hold government positions. Double agents employ enemy spies. Expendable spies are employed to switch information outside the state. Provide our expendable spies with false information and have them leak it to enemy agents. Living spies return with reports. As of all the 3 armies, if there is no relationship, is closer than the spies. No rewards are more generous than those given to spies. No affairs are more secret than those pertaining to spies. Unless someone has the wisdom of a sage, he cannot use spies unless he is benevolent and righteous. He cannot employ spies unless he is subtle and precipitous. He cannot perceive the substance and intelligence reports. It is subtle. There are no areas in which one does not employ spies. If before the mission has begun, it has already been exposed. The spy and those he informed should all be put to death. In general, as for the armies, you want to strike the cities, you want to attack. And the men you want to assassinate, those personnel have the names of the defensive commander, his assistants, staff, door guards, lieutenants. You must have our spies search out and learn them all. You must search for enemy agents who have come to spy on us, tempt them with profits, instruct and retain them. Thus, fellow agents can be obtained and employed. Through knowledge gained from them, you can recruit both local and internal spies. Through knowledge gained from them, a subtle spy can spread his falsehoods, can be used to misinform the enemy. Through knowledge gained from them, our living spies can be employed as time is required. The ruler must know these 5 aspects of this knowledge work. This knowledge inevitably depends on turn spies, therefore, you must be generous to double agents. Thus, enlightened rulers and sagacious generals who are able to get intelligent spies will invariably attain great achievements. This is the essence of the military, what the 3 armies rely on to move.